button. Hello, everyone. I am back. Did you miss me? Hello, everyone. Welcome to another mental health stream. Yeah, sorry about the fact that we didn't do one last week. Somebody here was preoccupied. I won't say who. I don't want to call them out, even if it might be myself, may or may not be. Who knows? Just very quickly before we get started, I just want to let you guys know what the whole purpose of the stream is in case this is your first time here. Every month, at the end of the month, me and my colleague like to do a mental health stream just to check up on the community, make sure everybody's doing okay. And you are able to call in and speak to us to communicate, the state of your mental health. Now, some of you might be wondering, oh, does that mean I can get on the show? That absolutely means that you can get on the show. And the way that you do that is very, very simple. Let me just get rid of this graphic so I can show you how. What you got to do is you got to go to a website called Zoom. You type into the address bar zoom.us. Once you go there, you'll see a little tab over here. If you're looking at the screen, you can see my cursor hovering over it that says join a meeting. You click on that and it'll ask you for a meeting ID. Now, if you go into the description box of the stream that you're watching right now, you will see the number for the meeting ID so that you can put it in here. Then you hit join and then it will ask you for a password. Again, the password is in the description box of this stream. Then you should be in the queue to speak to us. Just keep in mind that we have a whole bunch of people to get through over the course of an hour, so please just do your best to try and keep whatever you want to say relatively concise. And yeah, we'd love to talk to you. Now, while we're just letting a whole bunch of people in, I will introduce my aforementioned colleague. Let me see if I can get him on the screen. There he is. Hey, John. What were you about to say?
I was going to say good evening.
Okay. Well, good evening to you, good sir. Before we start bringing in our first person, do you want to just tell very quickly people about your meeting, like the meetings that you do every Monday?
Yeah, on Monday afternoons, we have a kind of an open house for individuals who don't want to have a coach, but would like to chat with a coach for a short time. So this would be a 20-minute slot. They start at 1 p.m. Eastern time, and they end just before 4 Eastern time. So if you're in a different continent, you'll have to adjust your clock for that. We talk for 20 minutes. You don't have to sign up for anything. You just log yourself into the call and you and I can chat. A lot of people use it for a few hints about some project. I noticed somebody signed up this afternoon, I noticed, and they want some ideas about tips about child rearing and stuff, what to do about this, what to do about that. And so, actually 20 minutes is a good amount of time if you have very specific questions you want to get off your chest, or if you just want to get stuff off your chest. So that's free. And there I am in all my glory of 10 years ago. And you will see.
Oh, you don't look that different. Come on.
Oh, I don't know. I think I look pretty different, but the beard is the same. Anyway, you see a couple of people have signed up for Monday coming, and the rest of those slots are open. So anybody who wants to can just click on that and say, hello, sign in for a short time. And by the way, something that happens often with differently wired folk is that they will sign up for a meeting and forget. Doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine. I will say to you, you missed a meeting. Okay, sign up next week or sign up the week after. It doesn't matter. This is free time. It's time when if you don't show up, I'll just, read the latest novel or something.
Yeah, don't worry about it, guys. John is the most breezy person on the planet. He makes, the breezes that flow through the palm trees in Florida look positively amateur in comparison.
Are you saying I'm full of hot air?
No, I said I'm cool. Aren't breezes inherently cool? I didn't mean to insult you. My bad. So if you guys want to figure out how to schedule that, all you have to do is just go to John's website, which is johntuckerphd.com. You can see that in the address bar right there. I felt like there was one other thing I wanted to mention, but I completely forgot what it was. Maybe it'll come back to me. Until then, let's just get started with bringing people on. So who do we got first, John?
Okay, up first in our list is Joseph Harper Jr. And I have just clicked admit, and here he is coming on board.
Yeah, Joseph Harper Jr.'s. Oh, yeah, I remember what I wanted to say. Sorry, first of all, Joseph is one of my patrons. Good to see you, man. And I just wanted to say, just to bolster John's previously mentioned service, I've had people message me on Discord just saying how much it's helped them. In particular, my one of my moderators, as you can see in the live chat right there, Trailer Trasher, says John was a tremendous help to me. So yeah, go check him out.
Great.
All right, sorry about that. Joseph, what's happening, man?
Good evening, both of you. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
What's poppin', player?
Not much. I just wanted to talk about utilizing your time well on Earth and striving to fulfill your own unique potential. That's what I'd like to discuss this evening.
Oh, well, it's interesting that you mentioned that because actually John was just talking to me about something in regards to that before we started today.
Yeah.
Do you want to sort of lead things off? Like, did you have something that you wanted to mention in particular, or did you?
Well, I'd actually be interested in hearing what John has to say if you guys were talking about it just a little bit ago.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well,
John.
as it happened, I clicked on my browser this morning and I found an item called 27-year study says one thing is key to happiness and longevity in work and life. And if I can do it, I'll stick it in the chat room, the link to that. But it talks about how important it is to connect to purpose, a sense of purpose. I'm doing a précis of it. Living life with a sense of purpose and meaning. And funny, the other day, my wife and I were at a restaurant and we met these people and she said, we're retired. I said, hang on. Stop telling people I'm retired. That's not true. I'm not retired. I got this work that I do. Now, I should be retired. I should be retired a long time ago. But I have this thing that I do, this coaching thing, that makes me happy to get up in the morning. So a sense of purpose, I think, is critical. When I talk to clients who are feeling depressed, down in the dumps, that's very often what's underneath it all. They might be intelligent, they might have lots of things going for them in a good sort of way, but they don't have that sense of purpose. So identifying your sense of purpose is kind of fabulous because you stop worrying about how sad you are and you get on with whatever that project is that you're doing. There are 8 actually little guides in this thing, which I will stick in the link, which talk in a practical way about how you can connect with the world and feel you belong. So if you're differently wired, that can be challenged, that sense of feeling belonging and welcome. But anyway, this article that I will put in the chat room now in a second talks directly about that. It's designed for everybody. And it's especially good for folks that become my clients. Anyway, that's what I wanted to say, Joseph, and I'll put that in the chat room so you can respond to that and bring us your own unique perception.
All right, thank you. I will do.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'd like to say, and I'll just keep this brief because like you all know, there's more than me waiting to talk. But what I want to say is that don't compare yourself to other people. It is so easy to compare where you are in life to what someone else is doing with theirs, what they've accomplished, things of that nature. Do not compare yourself to what someone else is doing. So many people get so caught up and wrapped up in comparing themselves to other people, someone else, people that they think they want to be, or people that live the kind of lifestyles that you might think that you want to live in. I personally don't find that a very healthy attitude or mindset. And I'm just speaking from a personal experience level here, but I focus a lot of my time on bettering myself, improving myself, doing what I can to either improve my weak areas or make my good areas even better. I do what I can to find my own unique talents, my own unique ways of expressing myself. I do what I can to not only discover myself, but also build myself. And it's one of the most fulfilling and one of the most rewarding uses of my time that I've ever done. Like, I cannot emphasize how important it is to turn your focus and your energy and your efforts and your investment and your resources and everything else, turn all of that inward. Focus on making yourself better. Focus on understanding what makes you you. You're always going to, it is so easy to look at someone else and be like, man, I don't have what they have. I'm not like them. I'm not capable of doing what they are, but I want to. And that is a trap for so many people, from I think basically any and all walks of life. We as humans tend to fixate on what we don't have that someone else does, instead of focusing on what we can do to produce what we want in our lives. And I just that's basically the gist of it, without me, rambling on.
Well,
Yeah.
it is relatively. It seems on the surface like relatively a basic advice, but it is something that people just tend to not be conscious of in their day-to-day life because it's just so easy to fall into the temptation of envy. That's why it's one of the seven deadly sins, right? And it's so addicting. Hold on, let me step back for a second. Once you start to covet what somebody else has or the way somebody else's life is, it seems so daunting to try and match up to them. It's like staring up at a really large building and just thinking that you'll have to climb up all the steps instead of taking the elevator to get to the top. Of course, once you do that, you'll be so intimidated that you won't be able to do much of anything. Instead, what you need to do is you need to do stuff that is within your immediate power to change. That is much easier. In fact, it could be so easy that it could be done without much thought or much effort. And then eventually you just build up a sort of a snowball where you take on a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more and harder tasks until you get to the point where suddenly those previously seemingly insurmountable tasks are completely manageable. And when you start taking on those tasks and you start taking on a great deal of them, you start to create a positive identity for yourself. And maybe you might not measure up to the previous ideal that you had, but you'll get to a point where you'll be nonetheless satisfied with yourself. You'll know that you've put in as much effort as you can. And that standard that you once held yourself up to will become completely, well, maybe not entirely negated, but close to negated. I've certainly found that in my own life when I started pursuing my own passions and the stuff that I wanted to do, what with my YouTube channel and doing stuff like this, mental health advocacy. And I hope that people will embrace that advice and see how much it can just lift them out of their own pit of despair or their pit of, what's the word? Sedentariness, whatever the actual real world word for that is. All right. Joseph, it's good to see you, man. We got to move on. I do enjoy our Patreon talks, and I look forward to talking to you again on Tuesday. Unless, John, you had one other thing you wanted to say.
I know we need to move on, but I would just like to distinguish between looking at another person with envy and looking at another person to learn. If you are
Yes.
differently wired and you look at somebody who's doing something well and you learn from what they're doing, I think that's fine. I don't think that really makes you compare yourself to other with that envious thing. So I'd like to tease out the difference there, because I know some people might be confused. Oh, I can't look at this person and admire them. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. And you can take a page from their book and say, oh, let me try to do that. He does a good job with that, or I can try that. So I think looking at other people's fine, but feeling bad and feeling envious, yeah, that creates a problem for you.
Yeah, that's
an important distinction to make. Thank you for pointing that out.
Yeah, there's a difference between admiring a mentor and envying a person.
Yeah.
Right.
One last thing I want to point out real quick, John, is you're looking really sharp and snazzy. You almost got a Mr. Rogers look going on.
Well, thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Thank you both for your time. You have a great night, gentlemen.
Good night, Joseph. Okay.
Mr. Rogers was a badass, by the way. Just a very, the look up his life, honestly. Just very quickly, John, before we bring on the next person, I just want to acknowledge 2 super chats. One came from Point Curation before we started. He sent in $6.99. Thank you very much for that. And Calypso, another one of my moderators, sends in 10 Canadian dollar dues. She says, a small sign of gratitude to my lord, without whom I wouldn't be the mermaid warrior queen I am now. The whole my lord thing is sort of an inside joke between the two of us. I could never have fixed my, I swear, I could never have fixed my broken fins without him. All magical beings, you shall bow to him. But thank you, Calypso. And by the way, did you get your monofin fixed? Just out of curiosity. All right. Let's move on to the next person.
Okie dokie. That's a good idea, since we've got 4 or 5 people already in the group. Next visitor is Matt.
Matty, what's going on, my friend? By the way, is this Matthew O'Neill, the one that's in the live chat there? If you're speaking, man, we can't hear you.
Yeah,
Matthew,
hi there. I'm not sure if you can.
There you
and
are.
also, I'm not. Quality's
There
very
you
good.
are.
Am I coming across quite jolty, juddery, stuttery?
Sounds fine.
Yeah, you sound fine, man.
Sounds fine.
Good stuff. Cool. So it was actually really good to hear what you've just talked about there in that first discussion there. As you might be, I guess, from my accent, I'm from the UK. And I've actually watched your streams quite a lot. I've actually watched your channel quite a lot, Max, in the last sort of year or so, or even longer. I myself was diagnosed about 4 years ago with high functioning ASD.
Okay.
And with that, there's various times of depression, anxiety, etc. And what on and ask, you already kind of talked about it actually in a sort of indirect way, is my current situation. So I was in a relationship for 3 years, engaged to them, and for reasons that I probably won't go into because it might be triggering for other people, they decided to end that relationship. So I've now with at the moment, and I was in a job, full-time work, but unfortunately the stresses of that work, something specific happened and I didn't feel fit to do that job. So I'm currently now not employed. So I guess what my question is to what extent should I be rushing to get back into work to get a routine again, to get some meaning, or to what extent I'd be maybe trying to actually get help professionally? So I'm already speaking to a GP, I'm already trying to get specialist input. It's kind of where I think between the two of you, just from hearing that synopsis, where would the balance lie between trying to get back into a meaningful work or trying to actually get the help that I probably need, and balancing the two?
I have a thought that might take us between those two ideas. I believe routine is vital. So even if you don't rush back into the workforce, it would be nice to set up patterns in your life so that you will create neural pathways of getting up at this hour, going for a walk at this hour. So regardless of whether you go actually to work or not, it's good to set up a routine that allows work to happen.
Which I'm doing at the moment, which is good. But I guess there are some, I guess there are just some days where I just sort of, even with the strategies in place, even with the routines, if there's something slightly out of place, it knocks me out more than it would do if I was actually in a work routine. That's my initial sort of thinking about it. But I get what you're saying. That is definitely helping. But I'm just wondering whether
one of the things that might help you not get knocked off kilter is to create a connection with other people or another person where you're responsible for getting together for coffee or a stroll or a conversation. Now, when somebody's relying on you, it doesn't matter if you're neurotypical or neurodiverse, you tend to live up to that person relying on you. But if you say, I need to get up for my own good, you say, oh, well, I don't feel like getting up, you're less inclined to do it. But neurodiverse folks are kind of more motivated when they commit to something, which is a routine kind of thing. So that will help. Now, none of what I've said should stop you from getting help. But while you're getting the help, you can be working on yourself. And it sounds like you're doing that.
Yeah, I'm trying that. I don't know if you have anything to add, Max?
Yeah. So how long, if you don't mind me asking, how long have you been unemployed?
Oh, literally just 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Okay. And if, again, how long has
it been? Max, 2 weeks I've been unemployed.
Yeah, I heard you. And how long have you been out of this relationship?
Well, my 35th birthday, which was the 25th of April.
Sorry, you broke up there, dude. Can you please repeat that?
Yeah, April this year, Max.
Okay, so it's been a few months. I imagine that you're still probably dealing with some stuff in regards to that?
Yeah, for sure. I am.
Okay. All right. So what I just recommend in regards to stuff like that is the same that I recommend when it comes to any basic mental health problem, is that you make sure that you surround yourself with people that want the best for you and that want to elevate you out of that situation. I hope that
Yeah.
you have friends and family that are able to do that for you.
I do.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
That's perfect. And also, you're saying that you're working on trying to get additional support in the form of mental health, like therapy, counseling. Is that
Yeah.
true? Okay, so
Through,
you're
through
on.
the NHS. Yeah.
Oh, okay, great. So you're on the right path with that. Just see
Mm.
if you can focus on taking care of that first, seeing that it's only relatively recently that you stopped working, and then if you can get a hold on that, if you can get that integrated into your routine, which, as John said, is very important, then see what avenues you can pursue in terms of trying to find employment. Now, the job that you were at, was it like based, like, do you have any particular skills? Are you trying to well, I'm assuming you do, but I mean, do you
Yeah.
have a career path that you're pursuing?
Yeah, I'd say it's more office based. I mean, I don't mind interaction with customers, but I'm thinking at the moment maybe more analytical based. But it really depends what's kind of out there as well as what's suitable,
Okay.
But yeah, I think that sometimes manage like worries is sometimes a problem, sometimes a trigger in itself. So maybe work that has to that would be more suited, but sometimes you can't always have the luxury of finding that job.
Right. Well,
So
yeah, I recommend sort of something that I've been doing recently over the last half year or so, as somebody who's also on the autism spectrum, is I sought out employment counselors. I've sought out programs that are available exclusively to those who are on the autism spectrum in order to help them get work. Those are available. The UK is one of the G7 countries, right? So is Canada. I'm definitely sure there are programs available for you like that.
The DWP does offer those things. Yeah.
Okay. So if you're having trouble just seeking out employment that way, if you're having trouble seeking out employment the normal way, like pounding the pavement and going door to door, just try that. And if you have any trouble like looking for stuff like that, just feel free to email me or just DM me on Discord, and I can try to help you out a little bit more with that. Okay.
Yeah. That sounds great. Well, thank you. 20 minutes. Hopefully, I'll speak to you on Monday.
Sorry,
Cool.
you broke up for the last 10 seconds.
I'll leave
there,
you guys. I'll leave you guys to it.
Thank you very much.
Sorry, I was just saying before I go. Yeah, I was just saying thanks, John, for the offer of the that offer. I booked myself in for the session.
Okay.
You're most welcome.
Cool.
Okay, thanks so much
All
for
right,
coming
well,
on.
take care, guys. I'll leave you to the rest of the stream. Take care. Bye bye.
Okay. Have a good night. It's just
Next person is Conman Epicness.
That's a great name, man.
It sure is.
I love the people that show up in my Discord servers sometimes, and they just have the most hilarious names. People get so creative. Hello.
Is my mic working?
Yes, sir. What's going on?
Okay, I'm sorry. I have to mute the stream here. Long-time listener, first-time viewer. I respect you guys a lot. I've been with you guys since the Differently Wired podcast, and it's really a pleasure to finally be able to hop into a stream with you. So
that's so cool, dude. Thank you so much.
So I'm sorry about my profile picture and username. I didn't realize Zoom automatically applied that, but
is that Nathan Drake?
It's John Cena photoshopped onto a random image that I was sent probably like 5 years ago. I don't even remember the context, but I think it's funny. So it's my profile picture.
I like it. It's fun. No need to apologize.
So I had a question less about my personal mental health and more about people that I'm concerned about on the autism spectrum. I don't know if that's against what the show is aiming about, but
we talk about anything.
Okay. So I'm very fortunate to be in a situation where I am the owner of a small business, and we work and maintain a video game that happens to coincide with something that is a very particular interest. It's effectively a fan game, and the way it works is people are able to contribute to it, and I am fortunate enough to be able to pay them for their contributions and stuff like that. But something that ends up happening is because of the virtual nature of the work, and because of kind of the ease of entry, half of the people who work with us are actually teenagers on the autism spectrum. And there's a particular teammate of mine who has issues with money, and he's working on basically getting his papers in order so I can pay him for his contributions. And I was wondering, since a lot of people on the spectrum, because of the hyper focus, sometimes they'll be really focused on something that, and kind of leave lifestyle things in the wayside. Like, for example, like a lot of the money that he's just gotten, we've had a conversation where he basically got around $400, $500 for his birthday. He's 22 years old, by the way, and a lot of it was spent on Lego. And I'm wondering if, since I am in a kind of authoritative position, I'm paying him, if there's anything I can do to kind of help him to budget better, just be more financially mindful.
Give me a second to think about that.
Well, I'll chat for a moment, if I may.
Yeah.
I can understand, Conman, why you would be concerned. But when you weigh taking away his right to control his money, and the message that sends him, that's a kind of a rough message for someone to get. Oh, you can't handle your money, you're buying Lego. I think you can offer a service, but you can't really do much more than say, look, if you want help managing finances, I'm here. If he says, look, I'm doing fine, I want to do Lego all the time, okay. Because then otherwise you're changing your role with him, because you're the employer sort of thing, right?
Of course.
You want to maintain that. You want to maintain that relationship, and if you try to handle somebody's money for them or veer toward that, it's kind of disrespectful.
Yep, and it is a situation where, of course, I'm going to pay him when the time comes.
Yeah,
I'm not going to withhold it from him or anything like that.
Yeah,
He's also in a situation where he's never lived on his own. He's always
Right.
had guardians looking out for him. But obviously, that kind of situation isn't going to last forever for him. And I am on a friend basis with him. I say employees, but we're more like teammates. We're all working together. We're in the same social circle.
you can talk honestly about it. I
Mhm.
think with him, you can mention your concerns. You're a little concerned. Maybe you don't want to just use Lego and hot dogs all the time. But beyond that, I wouldn't set up anything that took away his choice.
Of course,
He's earned the money, and it's his money.
I have to concur with John here. I think that even though he is your friend, I think the best thing that you can do right now is just respect his autonomy, but also just, offer whatever support that you can. Just say, hey, man, I noticed that, the money that I'm paying you to do this stuff, that you're spending it on Legos. If you ever need any help with money management or just, saving for the future or anything like that, I want to help you however I can, and just try to put it forward in as diplomatic and supportive a way as you can. And I think it'd be just best to leave it at that.
Of course.
That
Yep,
way he
that's-
always has that option available to him.
And that's what I've been doing. I've been, being that supportive figure, helping him out and trying to give him advice when I can. I did have a secondary question if
Yeah.
we still have a little time. So as, someone who's kind of a de facto leader of, the team that we have set up, I'm wondering, since a lot of these people are younger people on the spectrum, if there are any tips that you guys have to, kind of helping to get them to stick to a routine, or helping them understand financial or job related things. And
I have one small tip that might be helpful. It works in various organizations and businesses, and that is to get together for coffee. If you're on Zoom, fine, but having very, very short check-in meetings early in the working day is usually pretty good to bring people together. And then when you get used to this 10 or 15-minute meeting, they can bring up stuff and you can deal with it as it comes up in a sort of an organic way.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's sort of what I used to do with my Discord server right when it was more or less starting out. I used to have regular meetings with my moderators just to make sure everything was okay with them. Once I got a solid team who understood what they were doing, that didn't really become necessary anymore. But I imagine because what you're doing with is much bigger than that Discord server and it actually involves money, it would be wise to try and do something like that on a regular basis, just so everybody, as John said, can check in with each other, and that will definitely foster greatness with your project.
Makes a lot of sense. Are there any tips you have specifically? I don't know how I want to structure this. I probably should have had some notes, but
in regards to autism,
and I know you have a video about autism in employment, and I think this is one of those things where it's very niche, and I've really been able to, let these people show a lot of their talent. And I'm wondering how I can help them also work on, team building and increasing their communication skills in a way that's, non-threatening and adapted to their needs.
I'd show Max's videos.
Yeah, that'd be one way.
I think that's a good idea. Yeah.
Right, but like in another, just not to be like to offer another solution that isn't so self-serving. I think what John just said about just having the meetings, just having people be in an environment where they're interacting with each other and putting forward that need for team building and making sure that we're all receptive to the requirements of the project, that would be helpful. And then if they struggle in that regard, maybe it would be useful to set up an internal messaging system. I don't know if you guys use Discord or Slack or
We do. I'm making it sound a lot more formal than it is.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, but yeah, I think just as long as they can have something to organize their duties, maybe like an agenda, or like I said, just something where they can have everything that they need to do in front of them. Even if it, like one of those things they need to do is just, hey, just check on your fellow teammates and just make sure that they're doing well and see if there's any opportunities to team build, then they will likely be able to follow up on that.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Well, I'll let you guys get to another caller then.
Right.
Thank you, Conman. We've got a half a dozen people. Max, you got about 3 minutes per person if you want to get everyone on.
Okay, here we go. He's a maniac on the floor. Oh, hey, I love that berserk avatar. Guts is my man. Oh man, if John learned about what berserk was, I think he'd lose all faith in humanity. It's a manga.
That word's been around a while. Berserkers used to go, well, anyway, I won't do that now. Let's talk for Emil.
Oh, Emil, nice. I didn't see his name. He's still connecting. Just give him a second.
Yeah, we don't want him to go berserk.
Especially the way Guts goes berserk. Anybody who's ever read that manga knows what I'm talking about. Hey, Emil, what's going on, man?
Hello?
Hey, can you hear us? We can hear you.
Hello? You can hear me?
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Oh, hey guys.
What's going on, Guts?
Well, I was diagnosed with Asperger's like half a year ago. It's been weird trying to have it make sense. I've almost since I've cut ties with a lot of my friends. Now in the past couple months, I've been living like a goblin. I've basically been doing nothing. I've become very rusty socially, and it's just become unusually difficult to be with people. I'm wondering if you have some insight on that.
Sure. So let me ask, why did you cut those people out of your life, if you don't mind me asking?
A lot of them have. It's kind of like uh, I was classmates with a lot of them, and it kind of ended up that you kind of have to stay with some kind of people. You can't just be alone, so you have to be with someone. And after a while, it felt kind of I wasn't really friends with them. I just was with them, and they were not very kind to me, not very good people.
Oh,
I've just decided to
yeah. Well,
just
it makes
get
sense
that
for you
out.
not. It makes sense for you not to be around people that have that toxic impact. Is there anyone in the group or anyone else that you can talk to comfortably?
Yeah, there's one, but I hung out with him a couple days ago, and
Hmm?
it didn't go very well.
Oh,
I was very awkward, and I sounded very almost angry and very negative. And I before we were planning it, at first I thought maybe I shouldn't do this, and I should just trust my instincts and not do this because I'm not feeling well. And then he kind of motivated me and decided to do it, and I really do regret that because it sounded a
hmm,
good experience.
hmm.
Yeah. One other question. Are you, like you say, classmates? Are you like in high school or just out of high school?
Yeah, high school.
Okay.
I'm 16.
Okay. So here's the deal, dude. I know exactly how you feel. I've been there. Around that period in my life, I also cut a whole bunch of people out of my life because I started to realize they didn't want the best for me. They didn't really care about me. I was just sort of part of a greater entourage. And once I realized that, I was like, you know what? This isn't worth my time. This isn't worth my emotional investment. And so I cut them out. And I'll be honest with you, ever since my high school days, I've only kept in touch with one person since high school. And it's somebody that I met in grade 12. And she's my best friend. And we've been in touch ever since then. But aside from that, basically nobody else. And that's okay because after I left high school, I started surrounding myself with people that I knew wanted the best for me. And you can identify these people because they're people that are actually interested in you. They're interested in your goals. They're interested in your interests. They're interested in what you like and, what you're like, what you want your life to eventually evolve into. And as long as you reciprocate in terms of that interest, then those friendships will last a very, very long time. I met a lot of these people when I was in university. We had a lot of the same interests because obviously, we were in the same program. And I suggest that if you want to find people like that, you have to seek out groups of people that share those similar interests. Now, let me ask, like, what are some of your interests? What are some of your hobbies? What are things that you can imagine bonding with people over?
I'm I'm pretty interested in a lot of the topics in your videos, like
Hey,
like Berserk, for example. It's I found that in a very specific time in my life, and it definitely made me a better person. And reading into that kind of stuff, I think it's very interesting.
hey, low
And
key, no offense, but I don't think you should be reading Berserk at your age. But then again, I was playing games like Silent Hill when I was 7 years old, so who am I to talk? But
I love
yeah,
that series.
yeah. Well, anyways, you have read Berserk, and it seems like you are, if you are on the autism spectrum, you are old enough and smart enough to sort of get a lot of stuff that's going on in that. Look, dude, when it comes to stuff like anime and manga, there are tons and tons and tons of people that you can meet up with, especially online, but also in real life. Those are great places for you to go to socialize. We have an anime section in my Discord server where people are talking all the time. If you want to engage with those people and speak with those people, that's a great way for you to sort of break out of your shell and break out of your isolation. I'm
It's
sure.
it's less anime, more like, have you ever seen like Taxi Driver, for example?
Oh yeah,
I think those kind of movies where it's very kind of media that you can get a lot out of. You can watch them multiple times, and
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. Looking at stuff, not analytically, but looking for deeper meaning. And a lot of my friends, they 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 kind of made fun of me for it, and a lot of my interest. And when I told them about having Asperger's, they basically just mocked me and said it was an excuse and that kind of stuff.
Wrong
A lot
people.
of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
wrong people. Yeah, sounds like the type of people that play FIFA and pay like $500 into that game every single year. Look, dude, are there like clubs at your school that like at my school there was both a film club and an anime club. Where like do they have stuff like that where you are?
And I'm in Norway, and it's not very common.
Ah, okay.
And the weird thing is that even if I wanted to meet new people, I don't really have a place for it. Like
Right.
it's pretty difficult.
Well, that's the
No,
beauty of the
no
internet.
coffee shops, for instance.
And I'm 16. That would just be weird.
Oh, okay,
Well, if
maybe next year.
Yeah.
well, okay. How about this then, John? Do you want to sort of recommend to him meetup.com and how that works?
Well, I think so. There are a number of ways to meet online, and meetup.com is one of the best because it's worldwide, it's everywhere. I checked it out for somewhere in the middle of Africa for a certain esoteric topic, and sure, there was somebody there. You can go to meetup.com and just survey your interests around, and you might join a group not based in Norway, but it might be based in Bimini, or it might be based in Alabama or something. So then you can chat, and all of these are online anyway. So that probably is a good way for you to manage this social stuff.
Yeah, start there, and just dedicate an hour of your time when you do have an hour just to do research into stuff like meetup.com or just places that you can meet up online with people that maybe share your love for analysis and deep fictional themes. They're clearly like with the stuff that I do on YouTube, there clearly is hundreds of thousands of people that are interested in it. I'm sure you can definitely find somebody, if not in your country, definitely some group online.
Yeah, and I just wanted to mention that I found your channel maybe like half a year ago, maybe
Okay.
around the time I was diagnosed, and your whole autism series. Once I watched those, things really made sense, and there was a lot of weird things, like things that lined up. A lot of the experiences you talked about were really helpful, and I related to them a lot. And
You've gotten in the chat room, Emil, Mags 1021 is also in Norway and is greeting you, sending, why don't you connect?
Yeah, there you go.
that's cool.
Yeah, so a fellow Norwegian is wishing you well. That's a really good start to a friendly conversation.
Yeah,
Huh?
go talk to him. Go do Norwegian things,
Yeah.
whatever that entails. Like
Brown cheese and axes.
yeah, and talking about how much you love your healthcare, stuff like that. Yeah, that's a great place to start, dude. Just reach out to Mags. Mags, be friendly. All right, well, we got to move on, dude. Hopefully that will keep you busy for the next little while. And if you want to follow up on this a little bit later, if you're still struggling, just call back next time or email me. Do you know what my email is?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Oh, if you don't, somebody will post it in the chat. If you forget, I think it's also in my bio on my YouTube channel and also in the description box. Okay. Thanks so much, man. And all the best to you.
Good to talk to you guys, and you too, John.
Thank you. See you later.
See ya.
Peace.
Okay, we got still 6 people. And so we've got about 2 minutes per person if you want to get everybody on board.
Yeah, it's
Welcome
not
to
happening.
Carl E. No, I guess we're not going to get everybody.
Yeah,
Right.
sorry guys. We only have an hour to do these, unfortunately. Carl E or Carly?
Carl E. We'll go with that. Yeah, just put that space there.
All right, what's
Yeah.
popping? What's popping, man?
Well,
Carl Spacey.
yeah, Carl Space E. Yeah, I've had quite a time just getting through all the stuff of my life over the past year or so. There's been a lot that people have gone through, and I am particularly interested in matters of the truth and all of that carry on. To do it in a professional level, but besides that, this is kind of born from an obsession of myself within myself to always try to go and understand the world around me. And I've taken some time to really go and understand my own cognitive behavior as it is. And I just noticed, well, yeah, it seems that I always seem to orient my own mindset around the need to look after someone else for some reason. And, this can either be in this kind of the romantic or the friendship sense. And it's very strange because I need to be more in charge of my own abilities and my capacities and my capabilities to go and to really work. But neurologically, I keep on ending up in this weird place, this habit. So I mean, that's kind of where I'm at, really.
Oh, so you're saying you have a tendency to look after other people and a desire to do that more so than for yourself? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, essentially, because I have so much that I could actually just get sorted for myself and my own self-betterment over the course of tonight. I'm in fact going to do that, but
Mm.
yeah, it's just like getting that spark and that will there from my own self. It's not really easy to go and conjure up, but it's so easy to do for the sake of someone else. It's strange.
I
Well-
wouldn't abandon your natural tendency to be helpful.
Yeah.
That's not a bad thing to be. I would say if you're going to move more toward taking care of yourself, that you do so in a very targeted, specific way, and continue on. Don't deny your nature. You're a helpful, kind person.
Yeah.
So you're not going to be able to
It's-
turn your back on this tendency. This is natural to you.
Is there a way like you can use your aptitude to help other people as a way of remedying the problems that you feel you have with yourself, or are they not those types of problems?
Well, the problems I have with myself, that's I mean, I could just help myself along. Oh, sorry, I think he's muted.
Hmm?
All right, no, sorry, that's just my screen.
Okay.
But yeah, I have a few internal problems of myself, really, and that's just, I'm always constantly looking for understanding the world in the sense of an objective truth. And I know all the steps required, to understand my own subjectivity and how I fit into things and everything. I mean, for helping other people and doing that in a way which would set my own mind at ease, I guess I could just really sort of, I don't know, just try to be there for people, I guess, a little bit more and just get more things consciously done for my own life and my own little betterment.
I like the way Max phrased this, because you can be there for other people doing stuff that you want to do.
Yeah.
That may help join stuff up,
Mhm.
I
like,
hope.
well, sometimes a person who's facing a lot of depression, anxiety, or something, can talk to someone else who's gone through that or going through that, and there's a little comfort and sharing of battle scars that can be helpful. So, yeah.
Well, there is a few people I have in mind, and I do want to be a good positive presence in their lives.
Then
Just
do
in
it.
this, yeah,
Do it.
Just
Just do it.
Yeah. And I think when you find that if you have been a positive influence in these people's lives, they'll be more than willing to listen to whatever problems that you have and be able to elevate you in any way that they can, right?
yeah, I do hope so.
Yeah.
'Cause, I just I got a little really far out there in some intellectual stuff, and then I can get so caught up looking at some things that I generally don't tend to see that, or imagine the idea that other people can understand exactly what's making it so daunting for me. But that's just my own thing. I'm getting over that bits at a time.
Hey man, I understand that. I mean, my whole life I has been sort of a series of just trying to get people to understand what the heck is going on inside my head, and starting with autism, and then after that it's just all these huge existential and psychological ideas that I deal with on my channel. Maybe one thing that you can do as a personal project is find out ways that you can compartmentalize these thoughts and make them accessible to the layman, because that's what I do. And the way that I achieve that is by making a point to write as much as I can. I keep a journal, write down the thoughts that I have, and I challenge myself to figure out, hey, is there ways that I can simplify this so that even a 6-year-old can understand it? And it can be done. And once you discover the ability to communicate effectively, you can be deadly, you can be truly powerful, and you can rise above a lot of the personal issues that you have just by doing that. Because once you're able to do that, you can command's a strong word, but you'll get the point. You can command people in a way that will make them want to help you.
I see.
Right.
Yeah, it's just thanks very much, Max, and yourself as well. So
You're welcome.
Can I just ask very quickly, because I'm just curious as to what are some of the things that can you name one or two things that are big ideas that you're struggling with and that you'd like to talk about with people?
Well, I look at esoteric subjects and stuff in relation to, secret societies and symbology and such, a little bit like yourself, but I also go and carry that on into the secular world, and I try to go and understand propaganda as well as false spiels that are put out there within the media. It's a very contentious topic as well, because it's turned very religious for some.
It's very sophisticated as well.
Yeah,
it's very sophisticated, but it also comes down to unraveling other people's lives. So
yeah. Good stuff.
Well, I think, dude, there are people out there that are interested in that sort of stuff, and I think that you seem like a smart enough guy where you can provide a comprehensive overview of the history of stuff like propaganda and esoteric subjects, that you can make people interested in them. And once you do find the people that are interested in those things as you are, and there are more of them than you might think, they will be the best friends that you've ever had. I recently found somebody like that, and she's my current girlfriend. So,
oh man,
yeah. So don't give up hope, man. I believe in you. I think you'll be fine. Just keep going at it the way that you are, and I think you'll be able to rise above a lot of the stuff that you're doing just by finding meaning in being helpful to other people. That's certainly the case for me.
Yeah, and there's something kind of simple about that as well. It's something I can fall back on about my own mentality. So,
yeah. Thanks for calling in, man.
Thanks for having us, Max.
Yeah.
All right.
Take care.
You too.
Looks like we've time for one more person, Max.
One more person. Okay. Choose somebody that looks the least threatening. Or if it, no, kidding. Who do we got?
I better get off then, because I'm very threatening looking, right?
Yeah. I'm curious as to why we've been doing this the last couple of years.
Ray Macusi.
Ray, are you there? Ray, can you hear me? Oh, it's just connecting audio. Let me see. What are you guys talking about there in the live chat? Talking about The Matrix? It's a good movie. Speaking of my girlfriend, I think that's her favorite movie. She's the one when The Matrix is her favorite movie. What's your favorite movie, John?
It's not The Matrix. I think. My favorite movie is The Coca-Cola Kid.
I've never heard of that.
Edibles, Australian flick, very quirky.
Okay, I'll look it up. Ray, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
What's poppin'?
Great.
Can you hear me clearly?
Yeah, we can hear you, man. You're coming through
Okay.
crisply.
Nice. Nice to hear y'all. Thank you for producing the content for us to enjoy and
Thank
to
you for
learn.
watching it.
I'm just gonna try to keep it short so that other people can join it. I hope so.
Actually, you're gonna be the last person, dude, because we're almost out of time.
Oh, I'm a lucky man, so I guess I will use it. I'm a grown-up man, and I'm 20 years old. Well, at least that's what my parents call me, grown-up man. And I constantly think and try to remember my failures. And over the years, I have developed myself for better. However, recently I have slowed down my progress of constant improvement, and suddenly, after leaving my educational institution, I've forgotten over the years about myself, about what I like, how I acted, and how I felt towards some things, and my attitude and motivation. And telling that to my parents doesn't really work because they react negatively. They came kind of from a Soviet society. They came from Soviet Union, so they're very hard people. And I would like to ask, how do you dig yourself up, basically, or how do you remember things or memories, or how do you remember your, let's say, beaten up moments in the big quotation marks, where you've been put down, but like, how do you not block those memories out and try to remember? Because I have a hard time trying to keep my negative thoughts because they always prevent me from being happy.
You don't forget them. You don't block them. You integrate them.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you do that, you accept that what happened, and you try to understand why that thing happened. And then you do everything that you can to make sure that stuff like that doesn't happen again. And then you try to make sure that the way you move forward is conducive to what's best for your health and for the health of the people that love you, that are around you.
I see.
Yeah. You've said you watch my videos. Like, have you watched anything in my videos where I talk about the Jungian conception of the shadow?
No. I've only medicals. Well, differently wired. I watched this about anxiety, and where I had some problems with anxiety before, and I know that I try to isolate myself because I have a hard time opening up to people, because mostly people had a negative reaction to how I act towards some things, and that's how, like, I had problems with that, for example, and that integrated into my other things. So
okay. So I'll just say my thing very quickly, then I'll give John the last word. In regards to Jung's conception of the shadow, Carl Jung is a Swiss psychoanalyst. He has this belief that to every human being, they have a dark side, and that dark side is your unconscious mind. And within your unconscious mind, there's everything that you need in order to develop into the ideal version of yourself. And so I'm assuming, like, based on what you just told me about, isolating yourself from other people, the one thing that resides within your unconscious is how to sort of break free from that and to make yourself be around other people in a way that's positive. I imagine one thing that you can do is try to sort of, to go along with what we were talking about with one of the last callers, is figure out what it is that you enjoy. And try to figure out where you can meet up with people in real life or online that share your similar interests. And also, most importantly, when you encounter those people, make sure that they're the type of people that want the best for you, that will do everything that they can to elevate you. Even if they, criticize you, make sure that they're doing it in a constructive way. You know what I mean? That's confrontation with the shadow. That's how you don't ignore the problem. You confront it and you integrate it and you become a better person as a result. We only have a minute left, John. Just want to give you the last word.
Sure. I agree with Max. You can't brush aside the problems, the negative stuff. You do have to integrate it. You have to position it take advantage of the information and then move on and focus your attention on good stuff as much as you can, but be patient with yourself. It takes a lot of introspection, note taking, thinking, meeting very good people, that sort of stuff.
I see.
And that's it from me.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry that you sort of came in towards the end. We would love to continue on, but we're out of time.
It's okay. I understand.
Okay.
It's okay.
Cheers, man.
I
And
comprehend that.
yeah, thanks for coming on. Thank you to you, and thank you to everybody else joined us for this stream. Guys, before you go, I just want to remind you, make sure you hit that like button, because when you do that, it tells the YouTube algorithm that not only this stream, but all the other videos on my channel are worth watching. And who knows, maybe there's somebody out there that could really use some sort of mental health support right now. So liking the stream will put either this stream or the other mental health related videos on my channel in people's recommended feeds. They might click on it, and hell, they might be able to help themselves be elevated out of their current state. I want to thank John for doing these streams with me as always. He's a great addition and provides insight, wonderful insight all the time. And yeah, all the relevant links, if you guys want to get in contact with me, are in the description box below. Make sure you visit John's website. Again, that's johntuckerphd.com. And until we do this again, we'll be doing the Patreon-only mental health stream 2 weeks from now, and then we'll do another public stream next month. Until we do that, just want to remind you guys, as always and as per usual, to stay yellow.